Throughout the history of the Dragon Ball franchise, we've been introduced to some of the most iconic and captivating villains to ever debut in anime, with some having longer lasting effects than others, but nonetheless very impactful when it comes to raising the stakes. And through this, Merge Zamasu was no exception, a powerful and seemingly indestructible killing machine with a twisted motive to eradicate all life in order to further create the perfect utopia that suits his narrative, who in fact was later wiped off the face of existence by the Omni King himself. However, what if that wasn't entirely the case? What if somehow the very essence of Merge Zamasu was still out there, roaming the cosmos, and in some miraculous way had survived extinction? His quest for total annihilation and creating the perfect utopia rekindled as we discuss the concept of Merge Zamasu surviving the Omni King's universal erasure. As once more, before we begin, if you are new to this channel and have a love and passion for all things Dragon Ball and anime related, then be sure to go on ahead and smash that subscribe button and turn on all notifications by clicking on the bell icon to never miss a single upload. And if you guys love and enjoy Dragon Ball and cannot wait to see more, then be sure to go on ahead and slap a big fat like down below by giving this video a big thumbs up. Now, right off the bat, in order for Merge Zamasu to have survived the Omni King's universal erasure would mean that his very essence would have had to have survived elsewhere outside of the existing timeline to in which he was originally wiped out in, which in this case happens to be the future timeline. So in this scenario here, given Zamasu transcending space and time itself after we saw him appear in both the past and the present, in this scenario here, we'll have Zamasu re-emerge in the past and have his counter essence be completely wiped out in the future timeline. So the question lingers, where do we go from here? And it's quite intriguing, as well as considering the fact that Zamasu was not only self-aware of the Omni King having to wipe him out in the future timeline in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, but as well as seeing Merge Zamasu return in Super Dragon Ball Heroes, as it was the same Merge Zamasu who was modified by few, who had now returned to further extract his revenge by siding with Hearts, Cumber, Lags, Kamen, and Orin. But the question is, where do we go from here? Well, to that, if we were somehow going to involve Merge Zamasu in the Tournament of Power and having him be discovered to not only survive, but also be pressured and threatened into joining the team, odds are that one of three scenarios would play out if this were to happen. Number one, Merge Zamasu is pressured into joining Team Universe 7 to fight in the Tournament of Power, with the sole promise of Beerus not Hakaiing him out of existence or having Goku get the Omni King again, with of course the reassurance that Merge Zamasu will have his rematch against Goku if they win. Scenario number two, Merge Zamasu declines all offers and proceeds to fight them anyways, with the chances of Beerus or Whis or anyone outside of Goku and Vegeta's authority further stepping in to handle the situation at hand. Or lastly, scenario number three, Merge Zamasu somehow plays along but then goes completely rogue and attempts to attack everyone during the Tournament of Power, and either A, gets bodied by Jiren, or B, erased by the Omni Kings due to his insane efforts of destroying the multiverse. Either way, Merge Zamasu in the situation following the events of the Future Trunks story arc would most definitely be a very interesting scenario, especially if we're going based off of the Tournament of Power first. To in which, if somehow Merge Zamasu did agree in participating in the actual Tournament of Power itself, there's no question that Merge Zamasu would probably have his own motives and agenda in further having to take it upon himself in going rogue during the Tournament of Power, in initially not wanting to follow orders set by the gods of destruction or even the Grand Priest himself, which is why I do think if Merge Zamasu were to be a part of this tournament, one of two things are bound to happen. Either A, he would cooperate, or B, he would go rogue and get himself killed during the course of that battle. But if we did have Merge Zamasu come across the likes of God of Destruction Toppo, Jiren, and characters of that caliber, there is no question in the fact that Merge Zamasu would get put down for the count and even possibly going as far as to be eliminated. But Merge Zamasu without question would act on his own in not willing to cooperate with any of his teammates, and possibly even going as far as to brag, especially after having his own teammates be eliminated by other fighters. It would be within Zamasu's character to brag and tell everyone how right he was in the fact that he is the one and only true God, and that he doesn't rely on the help of his quote allies, nor would he ever seek the help of any other mortal just to get the job done. That's only assuming the fact that if we did have Zamasu during the Tournament of Power, there's no question that by the end, he would either A, retaliate against his own destroyer, or B, try to come up with his own means of rationality in attacking the Omni King, which, by the end of it, would result in Zamasu having to be eradicated from the face of existence. So despite how you want to look at it, in both scenarios, Merge Zamasu would not walk away from the Tournament of Power without having to be Hakkai'd into an oblivion. And having Zamasu cooperate along with the same people he tried to murder in the future timeline wouldn't be as easy of a task as one could imagine, but unless he would be dumb enough to get himself erased on the spot again, he would play ball. But nevertheless, Merge Zamasu would be a great opponent for many of the fighters within the Tournament of Power as well, two in which some examples of this would be Merge Zamasu versus Hit, Merge Zamasu versus Aniraza, Merge Zamasu versus Kefla, Merge Zamasu versus Lightspeed Dispo, Merge Zamasu versus Topo, Merge Zamasu versus Jiren, and the list goes on. Two in which before or maybe possibly after the Tournament of Power, could we then see the long anticipated battle involving Beerus and Merge Zamasu, to where of course Beerus' title as Destroyer would be threatened by Merge Zamasu's very ambition in wanting to not only take that away from him, but also wanting to see him perish along with all the mortals that he would deem not worthy in having to live in his perfect utopia. So despite how you spin it or look at it, if Merge Zamasu was involved during the events of the Tournament of Power, there is absolutely no way that Merge Zamasu would walk out of that situation with his life intact. Either Beerus would destroy him, the Omni Kings would destroy him, the Grand Priest would destroy him, or Goku and Vegeta collectively once more would get together in their attempts to destroy him. And the only reason why this would happen is because Merge Zamasu would more than likely not agree to play ball and would separate himself and going rogue, doing his own thing in his attempts of wiping out all of the mortals as he had originally planned in the future timeline. However, let's also say that Merge Zamasu did survive but was undetected during the Tournament of Power and reintroduced himself in Dragon Ball Super Broly. The events surrounding Broly would most likely cause Merge Zamasu to intervene in the battle involving Broly and the Saiyans to further assert himself and carry out his plan. Either that, or he would wait it out in simply being a spectator and waiting for the perfect opportunity to make his move. Against Broly, Zamasu really wouldn't have a chance unless he could somehow pull Broly in his favor to stomp out Goku and Vegeta. And along with Goku and Vegeta following the Tournament of Power, Zamasu would be at a significant disadvantage against the Saiyans and their newly discovered Super Saiyan Blue evolution and Ultra Instinct abilities, even if Zamasu was partly immortal. Which is why there is no question that despite coming back, Zamasu would do everything in his ability to make sure that his Zero Mortals plan falls through and he wipes out everything in his way to simply achieve his goals. But in a fight against Broly and the Saiyans, who are now even stronger than how they were before, his chances then are essentially slim to none in succeeding. Although Broly would be unstable, giving Zamasu room to plan ahead, when it comes to raw power and untapped potential, Broly would decimate Zamasu to the point of near child's play, but the one thing that would keep him afloat would be his immortality. Zamasu would try to use the situation against everyone by establishing himself as the one and only true god of the multiverse, but we all know at that point that in that current timeline, Zamasu would be open season to the likes of Beerus and WHIS, especially if Merge Zamasu wants to further assert himself in being that deity, in having to take up that mantle, in having to be the one and only true revered god of Universe 7, which is why in both scenarios, Merge Zamasu would not be able to help himself in not only going as far as to gloat, brag, and talk about his Zero Mortals plan again, but in both circumstances, I don't think that Merge Zamasu would be anything like we've seen his counterpart in Super Dragon Ball Heroes, to where over there he's more cool, calm, and collected and actually working with other people, especially given the fact that if Merge Zamasu were to come back, he would be more furious at the fact that he was stopped in the future timeline. That would fuel his ego and arrogance even more to do something stupid enough in not thinking about it first. Which is why if Merge Zamasu did come across Broly, would would we see a Broly versus Merge Zamasu showdown, solely for the fact that Merge Zamasu would go out of his way in not only taunting both Goku and Vegeta, but also provoking Broly in some way, even possibly going as far as to attack his father or even Broly directly himself, and again, asserting himself in being the most dominant figure within the actual universe itself. To in which, given both circumstances of the Tournament of Power and Dragon Ball Super Broly, Merge Zamasu simply wouldn't survive. However, what if Merge Zamasu did not return during the Tournament of Power or Dragon Ball Super Broly, but instead had made his return during the Galactic Patrol Prisoner arc and the battle against the Eater of Worlds, Moro? If there was any situation that would likely favor Zamasu among the scenarios presented, it would be this one. And that would be solely based on the fact that Moro's ideology is eerily similar to Zamasu's in wanting to cleanse the universe of unworthy life. However, the question would arise as to who among the two would betray the other first. There is no doubt that if Merge Zamasu were to take sides with Moro, would they be able to further take down the Daikaio, Goku, and Vegeta during the course of their struggle, but the real test of patience would be if Merge Zamasu would in fact be able to cope with Moro without Moro having to steal Merge Zamasu's energy, and thus creating a division in what Merge Zamasu wants versus Moro's ideal of what the perfect universe would be like if he were to wipe out all life within the existing universe itself and draining it of all of its life energy. And there is no doubt that Moro and Merge Zamasu would more than likely target the Galactic Patrol first, or at least having one of them stall the other out while the other directly targets and goes after Goku, Vegeta, and the Daikaio. It would be more than likely that Moro would probably use Merge Zamasu in later having to drain his very life energy and consuming that within himself and simply having to get stronger. The greatest problem in this scenario would be if Merge Zamasu's body were to be destroyed in this timeline and we did have another situation to where Astro Zamasu took over. The question then becomes, can Moro drain the very energy and life force of Astro Zamasu, who is now engulfing the entire universe? But that's only if Merge Zamasu, just like in the future timeline, were to have his physical body destroyed and thus manifesting himself within the universe again, which could ultimately create a lasting effect that not only impacts Universe 7, but all other alternative timelines and possibly the multiverse itself, as we've seen be done in the future timeline itself. But that is only if, once again, if Merge Zamasu's body were to be destroyed and reconnecting with the universe once more, could that be a problem not only to Goku and Vegeta again, but also Moro if Moro is unable to steal and take the very energy from Zamasu's essence in growing stronger himself. And seeing how strong Goku and Vegeta have gotten since the time of Merge Zamasu originally fighting them in the future timeline, would that probably inspire Merge Zamasu in breaking his own limits himself? And being that one half of what makes Merge Zamasu is Goku Black's body, it would be most interesting to see if Merge Zamasu is able to further tap into Goku Black's memories himself in attempting to figure out a way how to break his own limits by, of course, surpassing his previous limitations and further becoming a greater threat to Goku and Vegeta than how he was before. But in the end, I want to get your thoughts in the comment section below. If Merge Zamasu had in fact returned in Dragon Ball Super, whether that be during the events of the Tournament of Power, Dragon Ball Super Broly, or during the Galactic Patrol Prisoner arc, I want to know, how would this have a lasting effect on Dragon Ball itself by having Merge Zamasu come back and once more attempting to carry out his Zero Mortals plan? What do you guys think would be the end result of Zamasu being put down? Do you think that Goku would call upon the Omni King again? Would Beerus and WHIS finally intervene? Would Goku and Vegeta possess enough power now to take him down? Would he participate in the Tournament of Power? Would he rebel in fighting against his very own team during the Tournament of Power? Would Broly be able to put him down? And would Merge Zamasu be able to side along with Moro? I want to get your thoughts in the comment section below, guys. Thank you all so much for watching once more. If you guys want to check out more awesome Dragon Ball What If content, then be sure to go on ahead and check out all your favorite videos and some of the best what ifs down in the description box below, and checking out the official Dragon Ball What If playlist. Again, if you guys are new to this channel, don't forget to smash that subscribe button and turn on all notifications by clicking on the bell icon to never miss a single video. Give this video a big thumbs up by slapping that like button down below. Tune back in for the next video, and I'll be seeing each and every single one of you guys down in the comment section below. Have a great day, everybody. Peace.
This is the Galactic Emperor of the Universe, and of course I'm here to tell you to subscribe to UnrealEntGaming.
Also follow UnrealEntGaming on these social media platforms to stay connected at all times. And if you don't, then very soon you will all be dead! Oh, did someone say UnrealEntGaming? Oh my god.
The fuck's up, on? Put on some clothes!
Well, why don't you put on any clothes?
What? I don't need clothes, but Jesus Christ, that's huge! What, Broly?
Freezer.
Uh-oh.
Prepare to die!